Hello student, this is the next lecture in the series of consumer behavior. So today we will be starting with perception. The first thing that we should know in perception is about sensation. So today's topic is all about the process of sensation. So what is a sensation? Sensation may be simply described as an immediate direct response of a physical sensory organ. And what could be these physical sensory organs? Physical senses are vision, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. These physical senses are continuously exposed to internal or external stimuli, and human sensation occurs because of them. The sensation may be in the form of reaction of the eye to color and mouth to taste and so on. The sensation is related to the very elementary or basic behavior of an individual, which is based on psychological functioning, and the sensitivity of a person to the stimuli will vary depending on what kind of sensory receptors individuals have and the intensity of stimuli to which he or she is exposed to. So if we talk about perception, perception is slightly or more than something sensation. A perception is slightly on a higher side because it correlates, integrates, and comprehends the various sensations and informations received from different organs of the body, by means of which he develops his sensitivity towards various objects. Perception is determined by both physiological and psychological factors. Now, what could be the stimulus towards which the reactions come? So, stimulus could be anything, a person, object, situation, or thing. If we talk about marketing, so what could be the possible marketing stimulus which creates immediate response of consumers? So it could be a product, it could be a brand name, it could be a store, this could be the advertisement. So all these things can create an impact in the mind of consumers and incites him or her to give some kind of response through sensory organ. So what is exactly a sensation in very short and crisp manner? That is, sensation is the reaction or response of a sense organ or a sensory receptor towards a stimuli. So what could be the sense organ that we have already seen? That are the five sense organ. Stimuli in terms of marketing that we have already seen. So sensation is the reaction of the sense organ towards the stimuli. Now, sensation itself depend on what kind of intensity, what kind of energy change is there, and how a difference in the inputs have been given. See, if there is a constant environment and that too very busy or noisy, or you can say it is relatively quiet, so it will provide a very little sensation or no sensation because there is a lack of change or there is a consistent sensation. Now, the two important thing that we should know in this uh, topic is about absolute threshold and the differential threshold. So, absolute threshold is the lowest level at which an individual can experience a sensation. The point at which individual senses the difference between something and nothing. It is a line between something and nothing. So let's understand with an example. Suppose two friends after a long ride on a motorbike are hungry and they are looking for a restaurant. So if both of them spot the restaurant at a time, at the same time, so that will be first spot a restaurant, that it will be a, they were having same absolute threshold. Whereas in case of if both of them are spotting the restaurant at different times, so they are having different absolute threshold. Now, one major problem associated here is the sensory adoption problem, which is creating problems for advertisement and advertisers, and advertiser try to avoid such type of situations. So what is this problem? See, if viewers are continuously exposed to the same ad for a long and continuous period of time, so after some time, the consumer will no longer see the ad as it is. they will no longer see the ads to provide some sensory input. So it is due to sensory adoption problem that many of the television advertisers change their advertisement campaigns regularly. So if the advertisement, whether it is shown on TV or print media, loses its initial impact on consumers' mind and will create a and will cease to provide some kind of sensory input that is to be noted. So it is preferable for marketers to uh, change the advertisement uh, program regularly, because other it will create a monotony in the mind of consumers, and the consumer will not get attracted towards that ad campaign. So change in the voice, color, celebrities, or and could be a number of possibilities. So that should be done to attract the consumer attraction and to get some kind of response from them. So now the second thing that we should know is the differential threshold. Now, in the previous one, we saw it is just the difference between something and nothing. So here it is about the minimum difference that can be noticeable between two similar stimuli, and that is known as differential threshold, or just the noticeable uh, difference. So we call it as JMD. So there should be just a noticeable difference. It should not be much, means it should be nearby. Now, Ernst Weber, they gave one law that this concept of JND was given by Ernst Weber, and it says that JND between two stimuli was not an absolute amount, because absolute is nothing, it's just a figure, but amount relative to the intensity to the first stimulus. There should be, it is relative, it should be relative. So stronger the, this laws further states that stronger the initial stimulus, the greater the additional intensity needed for the second stimulus to be perceived as different. That means, see, if first stimulus is strong, now the second thing has to create a different impact. So that has to be additionally stronger or greater to create a different impact, or it should, if it to be perceived as different. So let's take an example. Price rise of rupees 100 on a color TV will not be much noticeable. Whereas if we see the price of rupees 1 in case of domestic cooking gas will be noticeable. That is because the price increase is significant percentage of basic cost of cooking gas, as the consumer attention will draw attention to the price hike. Whereas if we talk about TV, the price is very, the basic cost of TV is very high, so increase of rupees 100 will not be creating that much difference in the minds of consumer. Now, how the Weber's law is used by marketers. So marketers use to determine the just the noticeable difference. Actually, firms don't want public to know that they have created a JND. They don't want that they have done some kind of reduction in the product size, or they have increased the product price. So let's take an example here, that is Brook Bond Red Label Tea. Earlier it used to come in 250 grams and 500 grams. But now what they have done, they have changed it to 245 gram and 495 grams. So this is very slight difference. That is just a noticeable difference, but they don't want the public to notice this kind of difference. But if we see that product categories like soap, toothpaste, tea, foods, so here consumers are not brand loyal. They will look for value for money. If if a particular brand is giving more than another brand, so they will go for the first brand. So product change, if even if there is a slight change in the price, they will switch to some another brand. So for to avoid such kind of situations, the firms dealing with these types of product, they will come up with different promotional schemes like free brush with the toothpaste, buy one get one, or get some amount, extra amount, 30% extra, 20% extra. So these are the promotion strategies or schemes given by the companies to attract consumers' attention and to increase their market share and value. So this is all for today's lecture. Thank you. In the next lecture, we will be starting with the perception. Today we have discussed about the starting process, that is the sensation. Now we will continue the rest of the part of perception. So thank you for devoting your time.